Welcome to Canadian Innovators, the show that celebrates innovation, entrepreneurs, and the Canadian spirit. I'm Ves Sobot, sitting in for Jocelyn Banford. Every week, we introduce a thought leader, tell their story, unpack the challenges of doing their craft, and explore ideas for job growth and prosperity. This week, we have a seasoned journalist, Elizabeth Nixon, who began reporting for Time, became European Bureau Chief of Life, and has written for Harper's, The Guardian, The Observer, The Independent, The Telegraph, The Sun Times, The Globe and Mail, Bloomsbury, Knopf, HarperCollins US, and a lot more. Her research skills are absolutely unparalleled, having broken hundreds of stories using her unique talents and style. She's here with us to talk about her craft, the industry, and what she thinks the future of news might be. Elizabeth, thank you so much for making the time to join us this morning from, I trust you're in lovely British Columbia.
I am, and it's a pleasure to be with you, Ves.
Thank you so much. Well, tell me a little bit about what led you to journalism. It's such a competitive industry. What, what,
I
what,
know.
what made you delve into those waters?
Well, I wanted to write, and I after I got my graduate degree in Toronto at York, I moved to New York with my husband, who is American, and I got a job in a film director's office. Arthur Penn, he's quite famous. He won at least one Oscar, and he had an idea that his assistants had to have some art that they were working on because he didn't like to have a lot of meetings. So I taught myself to write, and I started a store in Soho with my husband, which was hugely successful suddenly, and all I knew about was fashion. But I because I'd started this store, I knew about it in depth. So I started going to the collections in France, and I freelanced for the Toronto Sun and the Los Angeles Weekly. And I think it was just because my writing has personality, and so it was immediately. I wouldn't say successful because I mean I must have spent $20,000 to earn about 1,000 for the first 2 years. I
Right,
just
right.
and then Time picked me up, and so did the Wall Street Journal. And then I was off to the races. Basically, Time taught me the craft. I was in the London bureau, which is their most important bureau after New York, and all of the journalists and researchers and bureau chief just taught me on the job, and I was sent out and thrown into one preposterous situation after another. I was either doorstepping the murdered child parents of Myra Hinckley, or I was in a phone interview with the man who just won the Nobel Prize for Physics, or I was interviewing the deposed crowned heads of Europe. So my brain in those 7 years expanded to the point where I had my hat size changed. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. I went from a 7.25 to a 7.5, and I had migraine headaches for 2 years. I learned so much from those people, and they were at the top of their game. They were the best in the world. I got Nelson Mandela's autobiography for the company, which was considered an enormous coup. So I was offered everything I could possibly want from this massive multinational.
My goodness, you
Yeah.
had a front row seat to so
I
many world events. And
did.
when I laughed that your hat size changed, I understand that. I mean, you're always trying to dig deeper, to look behind the veil, to see to find the truth. And I can see how that would be exhausting. But the front row seat, that's the most fascinating thing. Listen, When we come back from break, I'd just like to talk to you about when I first ran into you. You did some amazing research work on NGO funding. And that's when it really struck me that you were different than an ordinary journalist. We'll be right back.